This video, we will talk about the 5 things I wish I knew and or did prior to nursing school. Stay tuned. Number 1 is I wish that I would have enjoyed the school more. I was really what people say a nerd, but I was kind of a chill person. Chill meaning if I were to be invited out somewhere that I deemed safe or fun, then I would go. But I never really rarely enjoyed the events and the activities of the school. I was a part of an organization, the National Society of Collegiate Scholars. But that was like a brainy organization, right? It wasn't even something fun. I'll take it back. It actually was pretty fun because I was with people who I was actually pretty cool with. But it wasn't like a sorority or a sports group or a sports club or something. Like, I just was never that person. Even in high school, honestly, I was never that person. So I do wish I enjoyed the school more, had more opportunities to go to different events and activities on the campus, outside of campus. I know a lot of the students sometimes would travel together, whether it was locally or not. And I just kind of missed out on some of those things, just being a part of different groups of people and getting to know them, outside of school. Point 2 is realizing that grades aren't the end all be all, right? You could be the smartest high schooler getting straight A's the entire time, but then you get to college and you might become a B or a C plus student. And it doesn't mean that you don't know the material. It just means that it's different because you have to apply material differently. You have to apply the content that you're being taught differently than in high school. You realize that you started this program and you're like, crap, I'm now getting B's and C's. They still get degrees. Nobody in their, in the hospital setting or what have you, no one's going to say, well, what kind of grades did you get while you're in school? Nobody cares. They just want to make sure that you have your license, which they won't ask for, but that you have your license, that you know what you're talking about, and you're going to be there to either make things better or be there to help teach them how to make things better, whether it is diet, whether it is a wound or dressing change when they're going home, whatever the case may be, learning how to feed their baby properly with a formula. They just want to know that someone's going to be there to teach them and to help them along the way. Nursing school tries you. Nursing school tries your soul. So I think I just have to realize I wish I would have known, listen, to just absorb the material so that when I internalize it, I can then increase my critical thinking skills and provide the best utmost care that I can to the patient. To become successful in nursing school, you should focus on that vision of you becoming a nurse and then allow that vision to then lead you to take actions and to make the correct actions that will allow you to see that to the end, to allow you to become a nurse. So don't get so stuck in the things that you aren't doing per se, because if those things that you now want to do, whether it is staying out all night partying or going on an extended vacation, whether it is just not studying and just taking it for granted, whatever those things are, those actions will lead you to potentially not becoming a nurse. Focus on those things that will lead you to that vision that you see for yourself. And if you are going to be in nursing school or is in nursing school, then picture yourself being a nurse and take action, do those things that will get you to that end goal. Point 3, guys, is joining a study group. Now, I did partake in a couple study groups, a couple study sessions, but I don't think they lasted very long, just for a myriad of reasons. But I think in order for you to understand the material, it's imperative for you to try to teach other people that material. Think about it. Once you can teach it to someone else and they're like, oh crap, I got it. I understand this. I understand why it's this, or I understand why it's that, or why it's not that. Then you can say, oh, you know what? I'm really good at this. I was able to teach someone this material, break it down to them in simple, easy steps, which means that I can actually comprehend the data as well. 3B, though, is making friends. I think with the study group, that can segue into a prosperous friendship. And granted, I did have a couple people who I thought were friends. We just kind of grew apart once we graduated and things like that. But were we really friends if we could just let, us graduating make us no longer speak? I don't know. But there were some really cool girls. So I still talk to them, Facebook and Instagram. But we didn't cultivate that relationship, or for me specifically, I know I didn't really cultivate that relationship to then want to be with them on a more continuous basis and hang out and talk and all those different things, which is something I'm definitely trying different now that I'm post-graduation and been in nursing for a few years now. Definitely trying to grow relationships and keep the people who I deem cool and nice and respectful and I care about close to the chest. Me being quiet and shy and more introverted, especially in my younger days, I think that made it a little bit difficult for me to then make friends because I was more reserved and definitely observant of everything. Like, nothing got past me. At home, at work, at school, whatever, nothing got past me. And so I think just by me being nosy in a sense, but not speaking and being, but not speaking out or having an opinion of things because I just like to have things to myself, that probably was a little bit of a hindrance for me as well, making friends. But partnerships with friends, true friends, is something that will make all the difference in the world. Partnerships with friends, true friends, will make all the difference in the world. Also, utilize the professors or your teachers as a tool. So yes, they're teaching the content in class, or maybe some of them are not. Maybe some of them are expecting you to learn the content on your own, and then when you come to class, have questions and things ready to go as like almost like a Q&A session. But if your professor has days out of the week when he or she sets time apart outside of class to have a private study session so that you can come in and get more detailed information, understand the content a little bit more, ask those questions more so versus one professor to 100 students, maybe it's one professor to 15 students. And now you can get a better understanding of the content because that professor is right there side by side with you and you're asking those questions. I did it probably for one class and I was taking chem, and that was my first literally semester of school. I was taking chem and bio at the same time. Don't ask me why, but I did that for chem because chem is just not my strong suit, like, at all. So when I did that with Dr. Jackson, Dr. Jackson, he always had sessions outside of his normal class hours to then have a time where we can come in, ask questions. He can teach a lecture, not really teach it again, but give us some tips and tricks and help us understand it in a more in more detail. Basically, I mentioned this in point 3, but point 4 is teaching the content, because like I said, when you teach the content to others, that means you know that information. If you are strapped for cash, let's say, and you just need to make some money for whatever reason, you can organize a study session or a group session and charge maybe $5. Like I said, if you're strapped for cash. If you're not, then it might behoove you to just have a study session, but hey, do what you need to do to make a little extra cash. Maybe make some flashcards and things like that, and maybe make a mock exam, a mock study guide, things like that. And if you need to, if you can, let me stop. Some facilities, some schools may not allow you to make money doing those types of things. But if your facility, if your school does allow you to make cash and, create content with the class material and then sell it, then do it. But if they don't do that, then don't say Shaquila told you, because no, I'm telling you right now, don't do that. When you're studying this way, you're getting more opportunities to hear this data. I keep saying data. You're getting more opportunities to hear the information, to hear the content. So you are consistently speaking about it. You're hearing other people say it in different ways, and now you're having to pivot and think on your toes. Point 5 is, I wish I would have stayed in my dual enrollment program. I was at Georgia Perimeter College while I was in my senior year of high school. Maybe it was in my junior year. I don't remember. But one of the two. I was still in high school and I was doing dual enrollment, and I was, of course, doing one of the healthcare paths. And I don't think there were maybe more than 5, maybe 10 people in that class. And it was a really good class. Basically, once you graduated high school, you ended up graduating with an associate's, I think. It was either an associate's or my CNA license, one of the two. I can't remember. maybe even all three. But I think I got super scared, and I really got scared because the teacher, and I don't think I've ever told anyone this, the teacher there at that school wanted me to lead a because we're a part of an organization, HOSA, and so she wanted me to lead a presentation on HOSA, on whatever the topic was, and then present at a HOSA event. And I think we attended one event prior to, and then afterwards she was like, yeah, I want you to lead, and you do the research, and you do this, and da da da. And I was like, you know what I did? I went back to my counselor at school and was like, you know what, this healthcare thing isn't for me. I literally asked to be dropped from the class because I was afraid of getting more information, doing research, creating a whatever it was, poster board or PowerPoint or whatever, and then to lead a team. So that's a little truth, a little hard pill to swallow, but yeah, that's what I did. So I think that I wish I would have like believed in myself a little bit more and realized that I could do all things, and not kind of shy away from someone recognizing the value within me, because clearly I didn't know my value then, but by someone recognizing the value in me and wanting me to then take lead and take charge and actually going for it versus bowing out and saying those are my 5 things I wish I knew and or did before nursing school. Listen, I need for you to go over to ifrn.org. Can y'all see? Indigo. ifrn.org. We have a donation page set up. Go ahead over there. We are providing scholarship money to young women of color in the state of Georgia who want to become a nurse. This is going to be for them going into their nursing program. We have a couple PDFs that are downloadable. If you are new to nursing, or if you are wanting to become a nurse and thinking of, oh my gosh, what are the expectations? Just something bare bones. Hey, this is a good place to start. www.ifrn.org, and I will see you in this video next.